Hello, Dream Team. Welcome back to our podcast.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome to another exciting podcast of Here's a Thought with the Max. My name is Rato Macheta.
And I'm Petola Macheta.
So great, so great, so great. Guys, can we make some noise for my wife's face card, which never declines?
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
you.
No, it's kind of a little jealous. Guys, stand up. Give her a round of applause. You look gorgeous.
Thank you, my love.
Oh
Thank
my
you so
gosh.
much. Guys, I was touched by a lady called V Rose. Please do check her out on Instagram. She is incredible. I'm so blessed, baby, to have worked with just amazing people that just radiate God's light, God's love, and yeah.
You know what I loved about when I came to pick you up from your makeup session? How the makeup artist was like, listen, this was easy. Your wife is gorgeous as is. And I was like, yeah.
I'm blushing.
I was like, that's right.
I'm blushing. But guys, I thought that this face is not going to go to waste. So yeah, guys, I mean, the reason I have this face is because we went to an amazing event.
Yeah.
And we'll let you in on the campaign soon.
For sure.
Yes.
All right. Guys, listen, we forever remain so grateful to each and every one of you for all of the love that you continue to show to us. We are so humbled by it. I cannot tell you how many times we've been in the streets and people have been like, oh, the Max, oh, Mr. Max, and whatever. And I think it always takes me aback when people are like a little bit overwhelmed and then they share their stories of like how we've really touched them and impacted their lives. And guys, we really don't take it for granted.
No, we don't.
You know, this is none of us. This is all God.
Yeah.
You know, and so we remain humbly grateful to each and every one of you. So if you have not done so yet, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, turn on that notification bell to know every single time we upload a new installment. I think we're on about 52,000 subscribers.
Guys, let's get
and
to 60.
counting. Yeah.
Or is it 100?
So I'm excited about getting to 60. I'm hoping to get to 70 by December 31st.
I'm going to challenge you guys. Let's get to 100
by
December the 31st.
Well, I mean, we remember how the last thing went. So, guys, thank you so much. We really are so humbled by everything that you share with us.
We are.
Yeah. What are we talking about today? Boo.
So today, we are talking about the gray areas in a relationship.
Yeah.
Before we get into the conversation, we're going to define what a gray area is.
Yeah.
So, a gray area is a situation that is not clear or where the rules are not known.
Yeah.
And the reason we wanted to have this conversation is because we were exposed to about one post on Instagram and a DM that one of our followers sent to us, just explaining a situation. And you could tell that this is not a written rule.
Yeah.
It falls under the gray area category.
Yeah.
But babe, before we go there, we'll start with the initial phase of our relationship.
All right. So just to make sure that you guys are not confused and there is no gray area around the subject of gray areas, we're specifically talking about gray areas while you're in a relationship, but when it comes to the opposite sex. This is a hot topic probably in every single household.
Yeah.
Now, I want to tell you a story real quick. My wife and I, we started dating, and about a date, so about the day after we made it official, she was over at my apartment, and
was it that quick?
Yeah,
okay.
It was that quick.
Yeah.
So it was about a day later. My wife comes over to my apartment. We're all excited, you know, getting into this journey of ours. And my wife gets on the phone, right in front of me. Like right in front of me. She gets on the phone. She calls her ex-boyfriend. I was like, what is this about? All I knew was it's about to go down. Right? So she calls her ex-boyfriend and she says, hey man, listen, I know that we've been speaking kind of on the regular. The reason they were speaking was she was counseling him because he was kind of going through a tough time and she was still there for him even though they had broken up.
Yeah.
So she says to him, listen, I know that we've been talking, but now we're not going to talk. And I was like, what? And she was like, no, because I have a boyfriend now and I don't want to plant a seed of doubt as far as our relationship is concerned. So this is going to be the last time we're talking. I wish you all the best in life. Cheers. Bye. Delete my number. And
Is
I
that how
was
it
like,
happened?
yeah. And I was like, what is it? I'm not going to lie. It was really sexy. All right.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, like what just happened? Because for one, there was no woman that had ever done that. And I didn't ask her to do it.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. I didn't ask her to do it, but it was something that was a core value for her. And she was like, this is what I'm going to do. She did it in front of me. And I knew that she was different. I was like, this one is different.
So the reason, baby, I also did that, I think, one, I knew that he still had feelings for me. And he wanted me back.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
After he was just a rubbish boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then he wants
I wonder
me
if
back.
he watches this. Because, like you,
Do you think he'll know that it's him? No.
he'll remember that conversation. I think she's talking about me because I remember this phone call. Yeah.
No, and then he wants me back, but obviously I was still there for him. You know, we had been dating for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And I felt that I had a responsibility to be there for him.
For sure.
Right? But because he wanted me back and he was trying to win me back, even though he knew that I was talking to someone.
Yeah.
So I had to make it clear that, listen,
We're no
bruh,
longer talking.
we're not longer talking. But I also think the reason, I don't know why I didn't front of you.
Yeah.
But I think also I was trying to prove a point. Right?
Yeah.
A point maybe to myself, just in terms of accountability.
For sure.
That I've cut all ties and now I'm accountable to you.
Yeah.
That I'm no longer going to speak
Yeah.
to this person.
For sure.
But what Lerato and I didn't speak about was
Yeah.
that now there was an unspoken expectation
for me
that he would do the same
like,
with his ex.
now it's your turn,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this is something that we kind of dealt with into our marriage because when we were dating, I had a lot of female friends.
A lot.
And
a
it
lot.
came to the point where
Yeah.
I started to interrogate, like, I was really having a lot of trouble. I was like, what is your issue? Like these are just friends, right? Until one day because I had interrogated it so much, one day I shared with her, I said, listen, from the time that I was in kindergarten, from the time that I was in nursery school, my two best friends...
Us, it's crash.
From the time I was in crèche, my two best friends
Yeah.
were girls. So this was not something that I was putting on. It wasn't something that like I was trying to go out of my way to irritate her.
Yeah.
Or to like, it's just the person that I was at my core. And this caused a lot of friction because on your side, this was, it wasn't a gray area to you. This was very black and white. And you displayed that with your actions to say, hey, this is, at the time, you know, I wasn't reading it. So I thought it was sexy, but I also didn't read the room to say,
Yeah.
oh, she's actually also expecting me to do exactly the same thing. And I wasn't
Sure.
picking up what she was putting down at the time. And so I carried on as I was with my friends and it became a problem. So I'll give you an example. We were dating and there was a girl that one of my friends that called me. She was in an abusive relationship and she called me. It was late. I remember it was late at night and we were hanging out.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, babe, you know, cause good guy, right? So I'm like, yo, babe, hey, you know, my friend's got an issue. I'm going to go pick her up. And she was like, you're going to what? And I was like, I'm going to go pick her up. She's in distress. Like, you know, I think her boyfriend hit her or something and she needed somebody to come and pick her up. But now you must remember the nature of our relationship at that time. Well, before her and I were dating,
Yeah.
this girl used to call me and I'd start the car. You know what I mean? I was that guy. So now that I was in a relationship, this was suddenly a gray area because we hadn't spoken about it and it caused friction between us.
And I think what was challenging me, guys, really in my defense, because if someone...
No, you don't need to defend
No,
it,
but I feel like
though.
if someone is listening, they might think, Ngwanyana has got problems. What is wrong?
No, that is your problem.
So for me, I feel like the challenge was the girl was always in distress.
No.
It wasn't the only time, babe, if you
Okay.
remember correctly. And I think the reason I had issues with some of the friends that you had, you were always the bradoli.
savior.
He was always the bradoli. He was always bradoli as in Zitoli.
I was the
He
counselor.
Was
Look,
the counselor.
but look at us now. You see, so
he was the knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
His girlfriends always needed saving, and I had an issue with that.
Yeah.
So can I just
Go
finish,
ahead.
my love? And I feel like, and also maybe when you are wired differently, you sort of think that people will think the way that you do, and it's not always the case. I too had male friends when we met, and even before we met, I remember there was one good friend of mine who I think he got engaged before me. He got into a very serious relationship. And he was one of those guys that we used to go out with. He used to pick us up with our friends and we'd go out with him. Just that kosher friend, the one that was protective of us, right? Yeah. And I remember when he got into a serious relationship, I slowly distanced myself.
Yeah.
You
told me that before, yeah.
Because I respected his new position as his new designation.
Yeah.
As boyfriend.
For sure.
And they were getting really serious. And I never wanted the girl to find herself.
To question.
Or not even, but just to be, for there to be those kind of conversations that you and I were having.
Yeah, for sure.
For there to be strife because of me.
Yeah, I wanted to say this. And the reason why I said, the reason I was pushing back against you saying in your defense is because in hindsight, I realized that I was wrong. You weren't wrong to feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that now. At the time, I was like, yo, I felt very justified, you know. But today, I know better because I'm grown now. You know what I mean? I was young, guys. I mean, my goodness, I was 21. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, there were just a lot of things that I didn't understand. I was a vagabond. I was free. I was just like, nah. You know what I mean? We just kind of did what we had to do. But at the time, it was a gray area, you know, and through our relationship, there's certain things that I've had to kind of weed out. And I realize today that as uncomfortable as it was, like that weeding of those things out, as uncomfortable as it was, I'm better for it today. Because I think that I make better decisions. I think those things were actually a distraction, but I didn't recognize them as a distraction at the time. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that anything had to be happening between myself and my female friends. However, I came to the realization that for every minute that I'm for every minute and resource and time that I'm giving to them, I'm taking it away from you.
And I also feel like generally, you know, when we have family, right? When I marry into your family is invested in also getting to know me. Your family is invested in wanting our relationship to work, right? And that's the reason why I have a relationship with your sisters, with your mom, with your dad. And I mean, we are not going to sit here and say, no, you can't have friends of the opposite sex. But I think you'll be able to read the situation and read the room. A friend that loves you, a friend that is invested in you winning, will respect your partner. If you have a girlfriend, if you have a female friend who does not respect your wife or your partner, you need to cut them off. You really need to cut them off, because this person doesn't have your best interest at heart. This person is not invested in seeing you win. They are selfish. They are self-serving. Cut.
And I want to make a point on that, which I'm going to remember just now because it was so good. I'm going to remember the point just now. Sometimes it's not necessarily about you feeling like they are disrespecting your relationship. If your partner feels like that person is disrespecting your relationship, that needs to be your bottom line. And that's what I had to learn, because sometimes you can fight for a relationship, but then it's tearing at the fabric of the relation of your romantic relationship. So then what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that we need to be
stiff.
No. Unreasonable.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you need to be unreasonable. And I mean, every relationship, you need to set your boundaries and figure out what unreasonable is for you guys. But I'm saying if it's within reason, where you really, really try to put yourself in your partner's shoes and see it from their point of view, then give yourself permission to try to respect it, you know, and say, okay, you know what? Even if you don't agree with it at the time, I value you and our relationship so much that I'm willing to walk away from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. And I think men and women are wired so differently, because there are things, baby, that you and I didn't see the same.
Well, still there are some things that we don't see the same on the subject.
Which takes us, I feel like this subject is so loaded, which takes us to the comment that we saw on Instagram.
Yeah.
I want to read it. So this comment was posted by Lady Love Bag One. They actually have a YouTube channel. The Mehlo McCools.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
The Mehlo McCools. And she posted, she said, married people, you have no business on commenting on the opposite sex pictures on social media, telling them you're beautiful or handsome. Go tell that to your spouse. And I fully agree with her.
Yeah.
So my stance on this one, it is a gray area for some people.
For some people, yeah.
But for me, I feel like it's black and white.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like if you don't know a person, if you don't know a girl, why are you lurking in their comment section saying, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so amazing? I feel like if you know someone, if they are a colleague or a friend or whatever, then you have permission.
Well, you take it even further. Guys, my wife is really funny.
Yeah.
So you even talk about following. So you're like,
on the following subject, guys,
yeah.
When I met
Lerato, let's talk about
not
that.
even when I met him, in our first initial stages of marriage, why no follow the it girl?
Because they were it girls.
No,
because I like nice things and nice things like me.
It girls.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is problematic.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
guys, I was 21. But listen, no. But for real, guys, we need to talk about this, because I remember we had a conversation recently, and I was telling you how I felt like there wasn't room for me to evolve and mature. And I remember at the end of the conversation, you were like, well, maybe, you should, because the conversation really went roundabout.
Yeah.
But then, the sentiment from my wife was, well, then maybe you guys shouldn't get married young. You know what I mean? Remember eventually when we were talking about acting.
Yes.
So that's kind of like where it started, right? And I was like, well, yeah, maybe, because I believe in going through it, you know what I mean? Like, and I believe in dialogue. I believe in talking about it. I believe in growing through it. Again, like today, guys, you guys think like niggas so good is, but I mean now, actually, when I think back now, like niggas so good is vele, like I was a problem, you know?
Brother.
But when I think about it, and I'm thinking back now, you know these young YouTubers that we watch, I'm like, I was that guy and I was married. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I was their age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was married. Like I didn't, there was no ill intent on my side, but I was just, with it. I was young. I was, you know what I mean? And you know, so yes, I would go and I would be following these girls and there wouldn't be a question about like, do you know this guy? You know, but guys are like I would follow superstars. I would follow people of public interest, and I wanted to see their lives and what they were up to and whatever. But I can see what it looked like. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate that today.
It looks like Nobata I can do.
Yeah, like I was thirsty. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, but if I'm really honest, like I wasn't at the time. It was just nearly fashion, man.
Now that you see the bigger picture, it's not even about you wanting to follow those people, but it's like, how is it going to make my partner feel?
Or, yes, one.
Is it necessary? Do I have to follow those people?
Also because I value my peace, you know, but also because I have a bigger responsibility now. So I believe that as a married man, you should strive as much as possible to be above reproach, which basically means I don't want people to question my actions. Just by virtue of, so if I'm going to like a picture of a woman who is scantily clad,
who's half naked,
okay, and somebody that follows us sees that, it's disrespectful to you. Do you know what I mean? And I need to protect your dignity at all costs, no matter what my intentions were in liking the picture, no matter what my intentions were in following the person, no matter what my intentions were. Do you know what I mean? I need to make sure that I cut it right there. And my wife also taught me that, like in the beginning of our relationship, she used to say, Lerato, don't think that you're above everything. So I must also constantly be watching myself, because I also can't get so comfortable in being friendly to the opposite sex, and then suddenly I find myself in a position that I shouldn't ever find myself in, and then I find myself compromised, and then I have to explain. And there's nothing I hate more than explaining.
But sorry, my love, you know what people don't get, guys, about social media? As much as it's not physical interaction, right? But the social streets are real. So when you're following someone on social media, right? We spoke about us walking in a mall, and you see a beautiful girl, and your husband is staring at that beautiful girl. Is it not the same?
Yeah.
In a way.
For sure.
And when they go further and like and comment, it's like walking with your partner in a mall. And then catcalling. Them going to another woman saying, Ish umundle.
Yeah.
Because we don't see it like that.
Yeah.
But social media has become such a big part of our lives that the social streets are a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we need to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to be careful. And again, I want to go back to this, like, I want to go back to, it doesn't matter what your intentions are. So one of the things that where my wife and I are different, I would walk with my wife and I would tell her, you know, baby, look, I think we've spoken about it before. Yeah. I'd be like, yo, baby, look at that lady. I wouldn't go further to say she's beautiful because I don't have a death wish. But she, you know what I mean? So that my eyes aren't dodging, right? Remember I spoke about that before. I was like,
but I'd probably say umondle before you even have to say it.
Well, I wouldn't say it.
Because the reality is you do, even when you're married, you do recognize that there are people that are attractive.
Yeah. And for me, I wouldn't have an issue in the reverse. It's just that my wife would never do that, you know, because
I also feel like, baby, you also think that I know you're going to disagree. Yeah. But you think that you wouldn't have a problem because I don't do it. Personally.
Well, I don't really do it.
No, you don't. But I'm saying that I don't do it. I've never done it.
For sure.
I've never really had an interest in following you handsome guys on Instagram. I don't.
Six pack.
No, like it doesn't excite me, right?
Yeah.
And I think you have never had to deal with it. So you think that, you wouldn't have a problem with it. But the reality is, I never want you to be in a position where a man looks at you and they're thinking, bari.
I got you.
I want you to walk tall. I want you to,
Yeah.
when you walk in a room, and I want you to be a proud husband.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I never want people to disrespect you as a result of my conduct.
For sure. For
Okay,
sure.
Labon.
That makes complete
Yeah.
sense, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We got a DM, babe.
We got a DM.
We got a DM. This one is, it's not tricky, but it's tricky. Yeah.
So this DM came as a result because I posted that story that I spoke about, just move along, go tell that to your wife. And then the person responded and said, how about an installment on this? Things you cannot do or say when you are in a relationship or married. I think it's important because my girlfriend and I fought a lot about this weekend, and I just feel like I didn't understand why she's upset or mad at what I did. Okay, what did I do? I decided to come have some fun in a different city, and I was too lazy to go back home. So my varsity female friend was that I was with that day said I can sleep over since she's got a 2-bedroom, and it didn't go well with my partner, and I thought it was legit innocent.
Yeah.
Well, it says an ish hit the fan, and I thought it was legit innocent.
I'm a brother. Oh man. Can I tell you what? Okay, okay, we must treat this with the sensitivity and the respect that it deserves.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it because I was once you. And that's not okay. I just want to put it plainly. That's not okay. I think the litmus test in these kinds of situations, and the bottom line should solely rest on how would my partner feel about it. Don't get stuck in the trap of which I got stuck in. I wouldn't have an issue with this. Why do you have an issue with it? Because you have to understand you are different. Put the security of your partner's heart and trust right at the forefront. You don't want to plant a seed of doubt.
Yeah.
Whether it's justified or not, give up the right to be right about this.
Yeah.
Please trust me on this. Give up the right to be right. I believe you. It could have been perfectly innocent. Nothing happened and whatever. But if your partner's feeling some type of way about it, take a step back, rethink it, and be like, you know what? I hear you. I'm sorry. It was an oversight on my part. I don't necessarily look at things that way, but I respect the fact that you look at things that way.
Yeah.
And I'll move differently moving forward.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm asking too much of people, but I feel like also it should have been the responsibility of the friend to say, friend, how will this make your partner feel? I feel like as women, we should have a woman code. I just feel
That's
like
good.
we don't.
I like that.
We just don't respect each other's feelings, and we know how things make us feel as women, but we don't. We're not courteous to other women. You know, for example, let's say I know myself, I know how I'm wired. I guess maybe some women are different. I remember, I'll give you guys an example. When I was a young graduate in training at this company, there was this exec that liked me. He had a crush on me, and this exec was married. He was married and he had kids. And I was feeling very disrespected. in my mind, I was thinking, so you think that I would go out with you, a married man. So what do you take me for? So first of all, I took it personally. But I remember, Kito and I was so on fire. Do you understand? I know some people are going to laugh about this, but we actually started praying for this guy. And we were praying, we're like, Lord, this guy, he's in trouble. His marriage, he's playing with fire. What business does he have wanting to do coffee and taking this young graduate? And this guy was like in his 40s. I was about 23, 24, and he was pursuing me, right? But because I respected that woman, I respected this guy's marriage, and I do believe that there should be a woman code. And I know that people have this thing, I mean, I get Julie li girlfriend ta gago. You'd have heard that where people say, well, he's got a girlfriend or he's got a wife, so Ningenaphi. And it really just saddens me, because I feel like as women, as a sisterhood, we should look out for each other.
For sure.
We should consider each other's feelings. We should consider how this would make you feel if you found out that your husband was pursuing another woman. So I feel like maybe I could be asking for too much, but I feel like if this girl had the friend's best interest at heart, and maybe she didn't mean ill as well. She was just like, oh, my boy is in town. Because also sometimes people are young and people don't understand the sensitivities. It's just like, oh, my boy is in town, varsity friend, you'll just crash in the next bedroom. But like you were saying, babe, if it makes the partner feel uncomfortable, then the onus is on the boyfriend to say, and without judgment.
That's what I wanted to bring up right now. Yeah,
without judgment. And also, it's not a reflection of, because I know other guys would say, yeah, you don't trust me. Now the trust issue comes to play. No, we're not saying that, but we're just saying, don't put yourselves in situations that could compromise you.
Could compromise you. Yeah, where you're not above reproach. I like that point. Sorry, baby. And this is going to be my last point.
Yeah.
You know, it's so important, that point that you said, don't judge the person. All right? Give yourself permission to talk about it and say, hey, babe, listen, I'm not okay with that. You know, a lot of men don't respond well to anger, screaming, utsuputsi mulomo, silent treatment, and whatever, because we're like, yo, we can talk about this. And you'll find that we're actually very receptive when we can just have a conversation about it. Like, hey, man, so I know that we haven't really dealt with this before. I know that we haven't spoken about this before, assuming that you haven't. I just want you to know that, like, this is where I'm at. I'm not cool with that. You know, can we talk about different options? Can we talk about what you could have done differently? Is it important enough for you to make different decisions for my sake? Ask the question. Rather, let there be dialogue around it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be upset, but don't come into the conversation upset. Be upset, go away, gather yourself, come back and be like, listen, we're going to need to talk about this, because if we're going to move forward in this relationship, then I'm going to need for us to go back to the drawing table and figure out how we're going to move forward.
No, I agree, babe. I agree. And I think, baby, the thing about boundaries, I feel like if you can respect your partner, those small things, it becomes easier to respect your partner with the bigger things.
Yeah.
Where you can easily just draw the line. I remember, babe, and I appreciate you so much. And I mean, it took years. It really took years of us just finding it. So if you are in that place where currently you're just not seeing it and your partner is not seeing it, I think what Lerato was saying, just sit down and talk about it, right? I remember there was a time where you just didn't get how your friend can call you at 2 a.m. to say, let's go out to a party.
Yeah.
But it got to a point, fine, you never went out without my blessing. But it caused a lot of friction, it caused tension. But I remember when it eventually clicked, one day you said to me, it's actually not worth it. It's sometimes it's not even worth asking you to. At the end of the day, then we've ruined our entire relationship, our entire evening.
For sure.
Rather, not relationship. So I think it's very important, guys, just to respect your partner's feelings. Feelings are neither wrong or right.
We say
if
that
your
all the
partner
time.
is feeling a certain way, just respect them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I said last point, but I just wanted to say one more thing. I think the mistake that we made is that we never spoke about it.
Yes.
So
there was a lot of assumptions.
Yeah. So go away, especially, I mean, whether you're married now or you're in a relationship or you're dating or whatever, communicate what your expectations are. Actually communicate it, because I would rather we hashed it out then, than when we were already inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, have the conversation and say, look, actually, how do you feel about Instagram?
And
like nothing, like nothing out of bounds, guys. It must be nothing out of bounds. Like right now, like nothing is out of bounds. So, for instance, I had an inbox recently. I didn't tell you about it.
Oh, okay.
And somebody a lady was like, "Hey, man, can we talk or whatever?" I didn't ask questions. I said, "Listen,
can we talk about what?
Can we talk?
Like,
no, one of those.
Who are you?
We want to. You understand?" And I said,
fire.
And
fire.
And I said to the lady, I said, I don't talk to women on social media.
You were even kind to respond. So what I do is, because my profile is open, and you can see that I've got a husband, I've got kids, I'm very family oriented. I don't even tell you sometimes, because I just delete and block.
No, I also don't tell you.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't even respond to the person. I don't feel like I owe the person an explanation.
Yeah.
Because what you are doing, yes, you're out of line.
Yeah.
Especially if it wasn't work, if they were not trying to book you for a gig, whatever, they have no reason to DM you. So you were kind to respond to say I don't. I think
I think I'll continue to be kind, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
So not everybody comes with ill intent, and I'm very clear about that. And I think I also need to be clear about.
But what do you think is the intention if someone can clearly see that you're a married man and they're going into your DM and they're saying, "Can we talk?"
Yeah.
What do they want to talk about?
You see, that's why I don't ask the question, right?
Okay.
It's more important to me that, guys, we
Did you
also.
see my eyes getting small?
Yeah.
My eyes were getting small. I was like.
Yeah. No. It's very important to me because we are in a ministry right now where people feel like they have access to us. Mm-hmm. I can't know if I don't know how old this lady is. I don't know her. I don't know if she wanted to say, "Hey, I've actually got some problems at home, or I need some money for like a bursary or whatever," because we get those things.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I will never choose to be unkind. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I've got my boundaries in place. Yeah. And so I will always choose to say, "Hey, listen, I actually don't, I don't do that. I'm not going to." And you see, I'm not going to open up the dialogue now. And then it's like, no, then speak to my wife or whatever. I just go, I don't chat to women on social media, vap, and it's done.
I find it a bit confusing when women do that, and I respect what you're saying, my love, and I understand that maybe people don't have ill intent, but it confuses me, right? Especially if someone, maybe, I don't know, maybe that person doesn't know us, right? But if a person knows us, why are they going to you and not coming to me?
What if she doesn't know us?
I guess, right?
But that's what I'm saying.
So I think for me, I'll give you another example. I have a best friend. I always talk about her on the channel, and she's married, right? Skips is married. If I wouldn't go to Sipe's house if she's not there, just to go and then chill, and then I'm sitting there with her husband
for sure
in the lounge
I
drinking.
agree with
and
that.
We've been friends for 20 years. But I respect her that much. I respect her marriage that much.
I agree with that.
You know? Yeah. So I think sometimes some things confuse me. Guys, please comment in the comment section. Are some things not 1 + 1? Is it? Because I'm just like, no. Even today, babe. Today, we were at an event, and it was an event with couples. And it was just one of those. It was just obvious. If people are taking each other's numbers, you're taking the guy's numbers. I'm taking the girl's numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and take someone's husband's number.
For sure.
For eating.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But not everybody understands that. You
so
know?
It's not 1 + 1.
No.
No.
But you know that. I always say, baby, we gotta lead with
compassion.
We need to lead. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And we need to teach. We need to, because, and this is what I'm saying, not everybody has, and by the way, it's not to say, sometimes kibari, guys. Honestly, like my wife knows, like sometimes.
I think most men are.
Like sometimes
I think most men
sometimes
are.
I genuinely don't see, like I can't read between the lines. I can admit that. But I can't. It's not that I can't. I don't want to lose myself in the process.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to lose my compassion. I don't want to lose my, so I move differently. We were recently at an event when I started having a conversation with a lady, sort of like, I would say maybe 5 meters away from my wife. I repositioned myself so that I was in my wife's line of sight. I made sure that when my wife turned, the lady that I was speaking to, I pointed to my wife and I was like, hey, there's my beautiful wife. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do things like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just more intentional.
Yeah.
And then later on, I was like, and then she wanted to chat, and I was like, yo, man, you know what you should do? You should come and chat to my wife.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's still an opportunity to... Yeah.
And I think, babe, when, guys, it's so problematic when people don't put boundaries, babe. I remember I went out with a couple friend many years ago with a friend and her husband, and we were at an event, and at some point, there was a girl sitting on her husband's lap. I remember I told you. Yeah. I was mortified. And I was the one saying to my friend, why is this girl sitting on your husband's lap? And my friend was okay with it. She was like, no, they're friends. And I had a big problem with it.
But let's also...
So I think maybe I could be very sensitive to things like that. Maybe we're not all wired like that. Maybe you, in your relationship, and like we're saying, we're not here to dictate as to how you should run your home, as to how you should run your household. But I genuinely feel like certain things could, you could find yourselves in unsavory situations just because people are not putting boundaries because of those gray areas. And I remember another example, I love giving examples in this instance because there's such gray areas, people might be thinking, but how do you know? When do you know? I remember Rat and I went to an event. And
I wanted to tell the story. Now that you're telling it, now it's like I'm the... I wanted to tell the story.
I was there with him. I was clearly there as his wife.
Yeah.
And he's got a drink in his hand.
But this was a while ago, guys.
But baby, it wasn't like 10 years ago.
This was
This was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then this girl comes and asks Lerato for a sip of his drink. Guys, this is a random stranger. I'm sitting with my husband.
Yeah.
Lerato lena wa mufa. He was home. I'm like, what just happened?
I think she couldn't decide what she wanted to drink, so she was like, "Let me taste yours so that I can see if I want to order it."
But I feel like
I'm
some
not
people
justifying it.
basto to
No,
guys.
look, I understand that, guys. Like I
Yeah.
said, listen, this is my admission because I know the comments are gonna, you guys are gonna kill me. Let me tell you. But,
sorry, my love. I respect the sanctity of marriage. I respect people's partners. Kore, in a way that I want to protect that union. I never want to be the one who is the cause of strife and tension and friction in another person's marriage.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Let me just say this, guys. I think the first thing I said was talk about it. Talk about it, communicate your expectations, and hash it out.
Yeah.
Make sure that you express your intentions. Be kind to one another throughout the process. Be kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like really, really talk and be okay with disagreeing, but try to find a place where you guys can really meet each other. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. My wife used to like to say, "Isn't it obvious?"
Yeah. 1 + 1 thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not always obvious, guys. And I will admit, as guys, sometimes we are asleep. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we just really, and again, I'm not excusing it now, and I wouldn't do it again. Actually, I would have done it again if my wife hadn't brought it up to be like, what was that? You know what I mean? But understand the world that I come from, the world that I came from was, this is what we do. It for me, I didn't see a woman asking for a sip of my drink.
You just saw a person.
I saw a person and they were like, "Yo, can I try that? I'm not sure which one I want." I was like, "Yeah, sure, go for it." And to show that I wasn't being disingenuous, I was very aware that I was sitting with my wife.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't hiding it. You know what I mean? I wasn't like trying to be dodgy. Like in front of my wife, I said, yeah, sure, go ahead, So a lot of the offense comes from the audacity as well of this woman.
Dara Pharaoh Saga.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? So that's where a lot of the offense comes from. Like, how dare she? Now, please understand, I don't get the girl code. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Now, as guys, would I go to another guy or another lady and ask for a sip of their drink? No, I wouldn't. But my understanding of women and kind of like the freedom that they have, I'm like, oh yeah, a woman would do that. So I don't have an issue with that. But now in hindsight, I'm going, okay, whoops,
Baby, do you feel like you guys little bit or subconsciously you enjoy the attention?
Maybe subconsciously
because I feel like sometimes, and this doesn't apply to all men, I feel like some men have a hero syndrome, and that's why possibly with your friends, the reason you had all these girlfriends that needed to be saved was you enjoyed saving them.
That's very possible.
And I find that maybe also I don't mind putting guys off and just blocking them all, because I feel like if a guy's approaching me in my DMs, first of all, you're not only disrespecting me, but you're disrespecting my husband.
Yeah.
So obviously I won't be rude and I won't be mean and unkind, but I'll just nicely block you because you don't have to like me.
Yeah.
So I feel like some guys want to be liked so badly that they barisa themselves.
Yeah. I can say as a matter of
barisa, meaning they turn a blind eye to certain things that could be inappropriate.
I can confidently say that I used to really enjoy being liked as a person. Unashamedly so. And it didn't have to be from women. Guys are like, we've spoken about the kind of friendships that I used to pursue.
Because you needed to be affirmed.
Yeah, because I needed to be affirmed, and I wanted to be liked. You know what I mean? So yes, so confidently I can say yes, that definitely was the case for me. Today I'm less sensitive to that. I found my tribe, I found my people. I don't need friends. I don't need more friends. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm cool. I've got my wife, I've got my friends, I've got my kids, I've got my circle, I've got my family. We good. You know what I mean? But at the time, I was definitely trying to find myself. I was, just trying to figure out my place in the world and where I fit and how and whatever. And that's all.
That is all from me too.
Yeah. All right.
I don't have any, maybe just in parting. Basically, what we're trying to say in terms of the unwritten rules, in terms of the gray areas and setting boundaries, guys. If it makes your partner uncomfortable, interrogate it. Don't just dismiss them and say that they are insecure. Oh, don't you trust me? What is wrong with you? Don't downplay.
And don't just get mad.
Don't just get mad.
Also.
Don't just get mad. It opens such a nice platform for you to have honest and open conversations and hash it out. And understand why your partner is feeling the way that they are feeling, because it is your responsibility to protect your partner's heart.
That was another incredible installment of Here's a Thought with the Max, ladies and gentlemen. Went on so much longer than we imagined or planned, but I think it was a really, really good important conversation. And thank you.
Thank you, my love.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of fetching in the comments.
In the comment section.
I
could be fetched as well. I expect to be fetched as well.
Most of the people that are going to be fetching us are not going to watch the entire installment. This is what we found. Where we're like, no, but we said later on.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that's perfectly fine. We love you just as you are.
And guys, please watch.
And thank you for commenting.
Watch the installments. I don't know what it is, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether a video is 40 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We've looked at our analytics.
Yeah.
People don't watch until the end.
Yeah.
If it's 10 minutes, they'll watch 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If it's 5 minutes, they'll watch 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
weird thing.
I don't know what the psychology behind it is.
Yeah. But if you just take the time, to watch it till the end. As a matter of fact, everybody that's watching up till now, baby, let's give them a code word. Just be like, write the word #gray. If you're still watching right now, comment below and write #gray so that everybody's like, what is this #gray? What is this? See what we did there? Dream team. You know what it is.
Yes.
All right, guys. If you haven't done so yet, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, turn on that notification bell to know every single time we upload a new installment. I love you.
I love you. We love you. We appreciate you. We adore you. You are incredible. One time. Too real. Oh, yes.
You know what it is. Peace, guys.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you.